Arthur Murray Palm Harbor has shared a very special partnership with Lighthouse for the visually impaired and blind of Pasco County. In fact, it's such a heartwarming partnership that we'd like to share it with you tonight on the Ballroom Beat.
Cha-cha on the ballroom beat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Cha-cha on the ballroom beat. You got two left feet. Get on the ballroom beat. They're dancing in the street. They're on the ballroom beat. We can tango, we can swing, we can do anything. Walking through the door and waltz on the floor. You wanna feel the heat? Get on the ballroom beat. Cha-cha on the ballroom beat. Foxtrot on the ballroom beat. Salsa on the ballroom beat. Cha-cha on the ballroom beat.
Good evening and welcome to On the Ballroom Beat. I'm your host, Lania Berger, and I am so excited tonight to have an extremely special guest. Jamie is a beloved student in our studio for, do you know that it's going to be 7 years this October?
It is.
October 17th is going to be your dance anniversary.
Yes, yes.
Amazing how time flies.
Yes, yeah.
But today you're actually here for something a little bit different because
Yeah.
Jamie is an extremely highly respected, admired, and laudable member of her community, very involved in a lot of different community services and charity organizations, and the one we're going to be talking about today is Lighthouse for the Visually Impaired and Blind, which you have been a past president of.
Yes, I've been involved there, gosh, almost as long as I've been dancing.
Really?
So probably about 9 years. Roger Michaels, who is also a very admired community leader here, came to me one day and said, you know, I know that macular degeneration is really something you're concerned about and interested in because it's hereditary in my family. Both my parents have some form of macular degeneration now. And, you know, would you like to get involved with the Lighthouse? And I said, oh gosh, yes, I would. And so I happened to get involved right as we hired Sylvia Perez.
Oh, wow.
So I've been there as long as Sylvia has. And, you know, the mission has just been so, it's so near and dear to my heart. But getting involved with the kids, that really sealed the deal for me. I love working with the kids.
And can we talk for just a little bit for our viewers about what Lighthouse is, what they do?
Sure. Lighthouse is a not-for-profit organization that is here in Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus counties. We have offices in all 3 counties. And basically the mission is to help those that are visually impaired to basically function just like everybody else does. You know, go to work, have a living, you know, make a living, make dinner, do your laundry, go to the mall, all of those things that you and I just do.
Take for granted,
we just do those things. And now, you know, as we, you know, when we started, when Sylvia was here and just got on board with us, we kind of were, I would say, in a transition. And now we've really bloomed into an organization where we actually provide jobs through a workforce project and funding, where we actually provide jobs for the visually impaired, where they do assembly work. And we're hoping, knock on wood, that we will soon have a government contract with the VA that will be able to provide them some items, and it will be huge because we will need a warehouse, we will need a gigantic staff. And so, you know, she did a lot of research, went out west and to Seattle, and I used to work for the federal government, every black pen that anybody in the federal government has was assembled by a visually impaired person.
Wow.
Every medal made for the United States for any of the service folks, every medal is made by a visually impaired person.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
I didn't either until Sylvia did all this research. So, and then of course with the kids, you know, kids can be so cruel. And so any child that has any kind of a challenge at all, it becomes very difficult. And so being able to kind of mentor them and really have an after-school program, which they have, and then the transition program, which is in the summertime, really helps them to be able to go into a job situation where they're able to shadow someone else, but also just teaching them how to use a microwave and how to wash the dishes, how to use a stove, because many of these kids, they don't do any of that because they feel that they can't. And then once they find out they have that freedom, then they bloom. And it's so fun. We had Jen in the studio.
Yes.
Jen is a perfect example. Now here she is now in college. She's a sophomore in college. And, Jen does what everybody else does, except she doesn't drive. That's the only thing.
Right.
Really, Jen's visual impairment is minor in consideration to others. But she still had those challenges and those stigmatisms, and very talented artist, and she really bloomed when she went through that transition program. And part of it is the confidence that you and I know you get from ballroom dancing. And so that just really helps them build that self-confidence to bloom.
Right. And Genesis is actually, she's a student, or she was part of the transitional program.
Correct.
That's how we met her, was because she came into our ballroom dance workshops that we held for Lighthouse for the Blind. She actually became a ballroom dance student on a scholarship program we provided her, and became a really fantastic dancer. And I'm so glad to hear such a great success story for her.
Yep.
She is a wonderful young lady, and we had so much fun being a part of her development, her transition into college life and adulthood.
And again, we highlighted her as the client every Chasco Fiesta, which is the event we have here in Chasco County celebrating the not-for-profits. The Lighthouse hosts the actual Chasco Ball, and Jen was the client actually highlighted, and you and David came. David danced with her, and I remember when I went up there with her, she said, it's dark in here, and of course for you and I it wasn't dark, it was candlelit, and I said, don't worry, David's got you, and I'll be right here at the side of the floor when you get done. But she, she can't see well in low light, and she danced so beautifully. And not only was she a beautiful representation of the Lighthouse and the transition program, but what ballroom dancing does for everybody that goes out on the floor, the confidence that it gives you.
Yes, absolutely. And you're actually the person who connected me with Lighthouse for the visually impaired and blind. We opened back in 2008. It was in 2009 that
right before Valentine's Day.
Right before Valentine's Day. That they were going to be going to a Valentine's Day dance. The kids in the transition program were, of course, very nervous, as any kids would be, right? I mean, because it's intimidating to go to these dances, but take away that sense of sight, and it's even more intimidating.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And so you reached out to me, and we were so excited to come and do a complimentary workshop over at the Lighthouse.
Yeah, we did it in the kitchen. We took out the tables and we made a dance floor in the kitchen for them. And most of the kids that are visually impaired, unlike Jen, but most of them have some other physical disability as well, some other medical challenges. So it's not just about visual impairment, but it's usually coupled with something else, which you certainly witnessed. And one of the most amazing things that I've ever watched is you and David teaching someone who cannot see, so you can't say to them, do
Watch this, right?
Because that's how I learned from David. I mimic what he's done, but actually verbally tell them, move your right foot to the left, move your left foot to the right, and both of you do that so effortlessly. It's just I'm always so impressed when I see you do it, because I can't imagine doing that.
Thank you. Yes, it is a unique skill to be able to teach that way, because it is so hands-on. It's verbal, and you're right, we do sometimes have a habit of being like, oh, just do it this way and demonstrating, but you can't do that.
They can't do that.
I wanted to thank you again for connecting us, because it's been a partnership that I have treasured it's been almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, the years are going by too quickly, but we've been partnering with Lighthouse for the visually impaired and blind since 2009. It's been a wonderful, wonderful partnership, and every year we continue during the summer transitional program to host a complimentary workshop for the transitional students of Lighthouse for the visually impaired and blind, so that they can come and learn how to do ballroom dancing, and like you were saying, build their confidence, feel comfortable in social situations. It's something that we've really had a wonderful time of doing. I wanted to share with everybody a little bit of, there's a letter that I actually brought from Sylvia, where she talks about some of the things that the children have shared with her. Talks about being so grateful for the support, because the benefits of dance include building confidence, strength, a sense of adventure, which will of course help people who are visually impaired and blind with becoming more independent. I also appreciate the fact that she writes here, Lania, we are very fortunate to have your business's support. You not only make donations, you also provide our clients with free dance instruction that is professional, enjoyable, and tailored to the needs of people with a vision loss. on behalf of the Board of Directors, Lighthouse staff, and the people we serve, thank you for everything you do for the Lighthouse. I was so moved by this letter. I wanted to share it with everybody because it is certainly, in my time with Arthur Murray, I think the most rewarding thing I've ever done.
Well, and you certainly have been recognized for it. Arthur Murray International has recognized
Yes,
your
it's true.
your studio for its contribution to the community. And you know, there's so many stories I can think of. You know, I remember the young man David, young blonde boy.
Yes, I remember him.
And David wanted nothing to do with this, if
Yes.
you remember. But in the end, David was the first one in the door.
Yeah.
There was another young man I remember a few years back who came and always had a hoodie on. And he would put the hoodie on,
Yes.
and he would keep it on, and because he was so intimidated, but that made him feel safe. And then eventually the hoodie came off. He was still had the hoodie on his body, but the hood wasn't up.
Right.
And it's those little things that you see externally that are just evidence of what's happening internally. And it's such a gift, Lania. Thank you for doing it.
My pleasure, my pleasure. It is so much fun. And another thing that I think we've really enjoyed is that we see some of the same kids year after
Oh,
year.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
they're part of the program for an extended period of time. How long does that program last?
They
for them,
actually
Jamie?
age out at 21.
Okay.
If you remember the young lady, she was kind of real petite, always wore the really decked out, always shoes always matched her outfit, her purse always matched her. You know
Yes.
who I'm talking about.
Yes.
She aged out. And I remember when we had the graduation ceremony over at the Boys and Girls, and I think that was the year I was president, and she aged out, and she cried and cried. And then they finally told her that what they did was they brought her back as a counselor. So then she wasn't one of the transition kids.
yes.
She was actually a counselor, and she mentored kids, helped to mentor them through that. And I thought that was such a brilliant way to keep
Yeah.
her involved, because obviously it meant a lot to her. But at that point, she was living on her own. She had her own little apartment. She was living on her own, and she had a part-time job. And I mean, it was the growth of that young lady to watch that happen over the 3 or 4 years that she was part of that group was phenomenal. And then she came back for several years as a counselor, but then that way she was able to participate.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
Jamie, let me ask you, if somebody were to want to become involved in helping the Lighthouse for the Blind, how would they go about doing that?
Well, you can find them on Facebook. They actually have a pretty active Facebook page. You certainly are free to call me or the studio. We'd be glad to hook them up. They're always looking for volunteers to help out. We have lots of fundraising opportunities. Of course, the Pasco Ball and Dining in the Dark are the two large annual fundraisers that we have. But, you know, we have White Cane Day. We do the Beeping Eggs at Easter. Pretty much there's something going on all the time.
And what exactly do they need volunteers' help with specifically?
Really, it's really about just organizing an event. Like at Easter time, really, you just take a child with a basket and let them find the beeping eggs. I mean, now some children will only go with their parents, but some will go with others. And then also in the office, there's always administrative help. We have folks that help us out with the mailing list. And when we get ready to do the Pasco Ball, there's a lot of stuffing that goes on. So it kind of depends on A, how much time you want to give, and B, what's your talent? What do you really want to do? Because some things are very back office, just support, and then some are actually out there with the kids and out there with the students. We have lots of folks that like we have an artist that comes in who volunteers their time to help them with art. And again, you think that that's like someone visually impaired could never paint. Let me tell you something. There's a woman there that's probably about in her late 60s. She's a beautiful painter. We auction some of her paintings off every Pasco Ball. So, whatever you've got to offer, and not just in Pasco, certainly Hernando and Citrus counties, we have facilities there as well, and same thing happens. And then, of course, the public transportation system, they use the bus a lot.
Right.
So sometimes it's just about going on the bus ride with someone.
Sure.
Teaching them how to use the bus. That's
Right.
really it. And I think they do that with the transition kids now too.
That's
they partner
great.
up and they take a bus ride. And the bus makes a big circle, so it's easy to do. Yeah. We had a woman who came for an interview for one of the job force jobs, and it took her 3 hours on a bus from Citrus County to get to where the job interview was. But she did it.
Good for her.
And she was so proud.
The independence is incredible.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fantastic. And we're talking about everything very locally, but Lighthouse is actually a national organization, or are they international?
No, they're actually international, but each entity is under its own, is its own 501c3, and then they all kind of operate under that hearing and visually impaired and blind. There's a national association that accredits them. So, for instance, that was one of the big things that Sylvia did, was she made sure that our Lighthouse here locally was accredited. All the instructors are certified, which is very big because that makes us eligible for a lot more of the funding. So we work with the VA because, again, a lot of veterans come back and, you know, they're visually impaired now and they think their life is over, and it's far from over. And so we help them to transition into life and really work with the VA. Which has been, again, a very big gift, because, you know, veterans, they deserve every chance they can get. I always say we live in the land of the free because of the brave, and they've made, you know, almost the ultimate sacrifice. So it's great to work with the VA and do that kind of thing. And most of those folks are young, so they have their whole lives ahead of them. And so for the Workforce Project, they will become crucial because, again, all of that workforce work will be done assembly. It's basically assembly work. And then, you know, 80% of the workforce will be visually impaired in some way, shape, or form.
Incredible.
Yep.
Jamie, fantastic chatting with you about this. So we are going to have to take a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to invite you into the Arthur Murray Ballroom Dance Studio in Palm Harbor, Florida, so that you can see our workshop with the transitional students from Lighthouse for the Visually Impaired and Blind of Pasco County.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
Ever need a doctor after hours? Well, searching won't help. But what do? You could go to the urgent care or ER, but if only there was a better way. Introducing the MNO Plus Card. No waiting rooms, no copay, no consultation fee, giving you 24/7 access to a doctor by phone or online. It's easy to get started with affordable plans starting at $15 a month for a family of 5. For more information, visit mnoplus.com today.
Welcome back to On the Ballroom Beat. I'm Lania Berger here with Jamie Mick, the past president of the Lighthouse for the Visually Impaired and Blind of Pasco County. And we have been talking about the wonderful things that Lighthouse does for its participants, with the transitional program, with the different after-school courses and things like that. And we were also talking about our partnership between Lighthouse and the Arthur Murray Ballroom Dance Studio in Palm Harbor. And here you can see year by year the different transitional students that have come and danced on our dance floor with us. We feel so privileged to have had the opportunity to touch so many lives in such a special way. Now, initially, this started preparing them for a Valentine's Day dance, but what has ended up sort of resulting from that is a celebration of National Dance Day.
Right.
Because every summer, National Dance Day happens on the last Saturday of July. The concept behind it is that everybody should be able to get up and dance and have a good time. And so we at Arthur Murray Palm Harbor, of course, believe very much in this mission of getting everybody up and dancing. I love that picture.
I do
Genesis
too.
And David, I love it. I love it.
And
That's
there's
a
the
great
young
one,
man with the
too.
hoodie.
Yes, there he is. But anyway, it's our mission to be able to get everybody up and dancing, and that, of course, includes our very special students who come to us from Lighthouse with the visually impaired and blind. And now, as promised, I'm going to invite you into the Arthur Murray Ballroom Dance Studio so that you can take a look at the workshop that we had this July as we prepared for National Dance Day with our Lighthouse for the Blind transitional students.
Welcome to all of you from Lighthouse for the Visually Impaired and Blind of Pasco County. We're so excited to have you here at the Arthur Murray Dance Studio in Palm Harbor. We are so excited to teach you how to do some social dancing and also hopefully help you feel more confident on the social dance floor. I wanted to ask you, do any of you have any upcoming events where you might be dancing? Homecoming's in October? That's not that far. I know, Lexi, you just love to dance, period, don't you?
I just love to dance.
You just love to dance, Gio?
Yeah.
Very good.
You want to dance with me?
Very good, excellent. You introduce yourself. You say, hello, my name is Lexi, and they would say their name back, and then you ask them, would you like to dance?
Hello, my name is Alexa. Would you like to dance with me?
Yay! Very good. Excellent, Lexi. Now we want to know, how do we escort our partner onto the dance floor? Okay, and you're going to demonstrate it with Sierra. I'm going to talk to Sierra first. So, Gio, go ahead and go up to Sierra and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Gio. Oh, you want to dance?
Sure.
Very good. So Sierra's going to come up from her seat, and Gio's going to offer one of his arms to her, and she's going to take it underneath, right here. And then he's going to escort her onto the dance floor.
I'm Nick. I'm Alexia. Oh, okay. So do you want to dance with me? Sure. Thanks for thanking me.
Very, very
My
good.
pleasure.
You did it! What did I tell you? Did I tell
Very
you?
good.
Did I?
Excellent. And then Joshua can go ahead and sit
Thank
down.
you for visiting me.
This is for how many of you thanked them for the dance? Raise your hand, gentlemen.
Raise your hand. Okay.
Very good. Did Gio do it? I didn't hear.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, good. Okay, very good. Good. Ladies, how many of you thanked him back for dancing with you?
I forgot.
It's very important that you thank your partner for getting the courage to ask you to dance.
Thank you, Gio.
Very good. And that you enjoy dancing.
I think her.
Very, very good. Excellent. Now, ladies, it's your turn. So, very good. So, to come on up.
it makes you feel really nervous to get up there and ask somebody to dance with you. And I think that David made some really good points for you, that to dance with somebody isn't asking them to be your boyfriend or your girlfriend. It's not asking them to marry you. It's none of that kind of stuff. It's asking for them to share a moment with you and have some fun with you, right? Doesn't mean anything romantic. It means something fun. So when somebody is brave enough to ask you for a dance, it's polite to say yes. So it's really important when you think about all the courage that it took for somebody to come over, introduce themselves, and ask to dance with you. It's not very nice to say no, is it? Have a good time when we thank each other for the dance. Again, it's a friendly moment that you get to share a little bit of happiness together. So the next thing we're going to do is teach you a little bit about how to dance. To learn some basics today so you can get out on the dance floor and have some fun. Sound like a good plan? Yeah. So the first dance we're going to start with is merengue. Is we're going to put you into a proper frame. So you can continue dancing like this. This is perfectly fine and it works very well. But another way to do it that we're going to work on now is to dance like this. Oh. What I want you to do is the gentlemen are going to ask the lady to dance. Dance with her, and when the music comes down this time, I'd like you to escort your lady back to her seat and say thank you for the dance. So gentlemen, would you please ask your lady right now?
Will you like to dance? Absolutely.
Excellent. And here comes your dance. Easier than you thought?
Nope.
Was it fun? Yeah! First we talked about asking a lady to dance. We said two ladies, don't feel afraid that you can ask the gentleman. We talked about escorting your partner onto the dance floor, sharing a fun dance, and then escorting them back and saying thank you for the dance. But you gotta be careful when you're done with the dance that you don't just walk away. Because look, imagine how this feels. So I just danced with Misha, and the song just came to an end and we finished. Oh my goodness! Now let's do this right now. I danced, and we just finished. The song came to an end. Oh, so much better, right? So you never want to just turn your back and leave your partner on the floor. And where should you bring your partner to? To the same place you took your partner from. Yeah, don't bring her back to some random table. Bring her back to her seat again so that she can be back with her friends and comfortable and say what a fun time she had dancing with you. Yeah, does that make sense? Do you think you feel more confident to go out now and maybe dance on the floor when you go home or something?
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad, because it's a great way to meet people, make friends, and have a good time. Now, the next thing we're going to teach you don't actually need a partner for. We're going to teach you some of the choreography for the National Dance Day routine. So what I'd like for you to do is everybody come out on the floor and join us right now. Did you have fun today?
My guys
proud and pleased to work with you guys since 2009. We love doing our summer workshop with you. Thank you so much for being a part of our Arthur Murray
We love
family.
you.
We love you too. We love you too. And
I love you all.
oh, thank you. Especially those of you who we start to see
Bless
year
you all.
after year. It's so much fun to watch you guys progress and grow as dancers, and it's so much fun to be a part of that growth and development, and we're so glad that you come over here and dance with us every summer. Thank you so much. Have a happy National Dance Day on Saturday, and we can't wait to see you again next time when we have our next workshop with all of you from Lighthouse.
That sounds like
Hey,
Thank you,
you know what to
everybody.
do?
I hope you enjoyed watching that as much as we did over here.
Yes,
It was
yes,
great
very
to
much,
see the
very
familiar
much.
faces. Their dancing was so cute. I
Yeah.
mean, just so heartwarming to watch. Again, I want to thank you so much, Jamie,
My
for
pleasure,
joining me on the Ballroom
truly.
Beat. But more than that, for connecting me with the Lighthouse for the
Absolutely.
Blind. It's been such a heartwarming and rewarding experience for me to touch those lives that way. So
And
thank you.
trust me, you've given a lot to them, and I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. We are so limited on time, but I must update you on Dancing with the Stars really quickly. So this week we say adios to Jake and Jenna. They have been cut. This was a shock to most people.
Yeah,
right?
not who I thought would be cut at all. At all.
neither, me
Kind of
neither.
sat there, went, "What? Wait a minute."
Right?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And when they said that the politician was safe,
Right?
Right?
Yeah. Got to tell you, social media. $10. I betting on social media got him those votes, and the power of social media because
yeah.
it sure wasn't the dancing ability.
It wasn't. But listen, this is a loss for Team Florida. That was my team on our fantasy football fantasy football league that lost to Jake. So that makes the scores. I have 108 points. Chris is tied with me with 108 points, and Rosalinda 116. She is in first place right now. Not to mention the fact that she didn't have anybody in jeopardy last night.
Wow.
Nobody. I know. She clearly did a really good job drafting. So
No, I think that's just dumb luck.
Rosalinda. I don't know. That was impressive.
Because that whole thing didn't make sense to me.
Now, as I've told you before, we also have student and staff leagues going on.
Yes.
Students, guess what? Congratulations. You're in first place. Jamie's in first place, but she is tied with
my buddy Maria. Oh, well, hey, if I have to tie with someone, it's okay to be tied with the Greek.
You know, and
we're
it's
best
so
buds. Yes, we
interesting
are.
Because, for you two to be tied, because I had a plethora of pictures I could choose from of the two of you together. I was like, well, that's perfect.
Yeah, she's definitely my dance sister.
And do you want to guess who the staff member in first place is?
It would have to be David.
It is. David is in first place right now. Congratulations to David. So our staff and students in the lead right now are Jamie, Maria, and David. And I happen to pull up some fun pictures of the three of you. Take a look at this.
Oh,
Here
no.
are our three people in the top. Have we got these, James?
Oh, maybe not.
see them.
Oh,
There
here
we
we go.
go.
Oh, no, that's a pretty normal picture there.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's
That's a good
pretty
one.
that's pretty mainstream.
Okay, hold
There
on.
are some I'm sure that are not.
Here comes the next one.
There we go. Yes. And I think when we went on the cruise ship dressed like this, they thought we were nuts.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And this is my favorite.
and this is
That's my
practice for
favorite.
that routine.
So congratulations to the three of them who are in first place in our fantasy leagues right now.
Oh,
Make
dear.
sure that you watch ABC every Monday night at 8 o'clock. If you are in the Tampa Bay area, tune in 10 minutes early to see your Arthur Murray Palm Harbor instructors dancing in our lovely commercial that
Yes.
precedes Dancing with the Stars. And I also want to encourage you to tune in next week, Wednesday at 5:30. We'll be streaming live. If you're watching Dancing with the Stars, I'm sure if you're a ballroom dancer, your favorite judge is Len Goodman. He's the head judge. He knows his ballroom. He is an expert. Well, we have next week the Len Goodman of Peru joining us
wow.
on the Ballroom Beat. This is Alfredo Di Natale. He is the head judge for Dancing with the Stars Peru. He's going to be joining us to talk about Dancing with the Stars Peru, of course, also the Ballroom Ramey competition that just happened that he hosted in Peru, and additionally, we have him and his team coming to coach in Florida the following week. We get Alfredo in our
Yes,
studio.
we're
We
excited
cannot
about that.
Wait, so we're going to talk about all of that and more next week. Make sure that you join us on the Ballroom Beat.
got two left feet. Get on the ballroom beat. They're dancing in the street. They're on the ballroom beat. We can tango, we can swing, we can do anything. Walk in through the door and waltz on the floor. You wanna feel the heat? Get on the ballroom beat. Cha-cha on the ballroom beat. Foxtrot on the ballroom beat. Salsa on the ballroom beat. Cha-cha on the ballroom beat.